you have a response to Simone leaving the office? And also, are you?
I love Simone. I love Simone, and I can't wait to see what she will do next. And I know that it's been 3 years of a lot of jumping on and off planes and going around the country, and she works very hard, and I can't wait to see what she'll do next. And I mean that sincerely.
There's obviously others as well. Do you feel like you're in the middle of a staff shakeup, and do you see this as a reset for your office?
Well, I've told you how I feel about Simone. Yeah. Next question.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Kamala Harris once again as her staff and her vice presidency continues to fall apart. I'm going to tell you guys, I've never seen anything like this before in my life, okay? Her vice presidency is absolutely a disaster, okay? Now, a few days ago, I did a video regarding rumors that the Democrats were looking to remove Kamala Harris from vice president, okay? Because they know that she can't win in 2024 if she had to run, if Joe decides not to run. I mean, Joe really can't win either, but, Kamala's even worse, right? And the nuclear option for getting rid of her is to nominate her to Supreme Court if a vacancy comes open, and then to replace her with somebody that's more popular than her and Biden, somebody like Pete Buttigieg, right? That's rumored to be the guy that's supposed to be next up, okay? So again, a lot of this stuff is rumors, but when it comes to the drama between Biden and Kamala, all this stuff starts out as a rumor at first, and then a few months later is confirmed to be true, right? So I'm all in on the beef between Biden and Kamala here, and that's why I think a lot of this stuff comes from, okay? Now, today, we're talking about how Kamala's staff is falling apart even more. As again, a few days ago, I talked about how one of her top advisors, Miss Simone Sanders, had resigned. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more information as to why. And there were reports that Simone wasn't that happy with the fact that she wasn't chosen to be White House press secretary. So that could be a part of it as well too. But more than anything, it seems like there's just a lot of dysfunction going on with Kamala Harris and her staff and her team, as she is being branded a bully, right? And accused of inflicting constant soul-destroying criticism on staff by ex-aides who claimed she refused to read briefings, then scolded them if she was slated for being unprepared, as 4 staffers head for the exit, right? Y'all remember when the mainstream media tried to get on Trump because he wanted his briefings in I think a PowerPoint format or something like that, and not necessarily in some long document that he had to read? Look at Kamala. Kamala apparently doesn't want to read her briefings either. Now, before we get into the details here, there is in fact something very strange going on in her office, as during these reports, some random dude on Twitter who claims to work for Kamala Harris, Mr. David Gins, posted a picture saying, "Hi, my name is David Gins. I work for Vice President Harris on behalf of the American people as Deputy Director for Operations, and absolutely love my job. I just thought some of you should know." Now, this is obviously something that the Harris team put out there and told this man to tweet to try to dispel the rumors, okay? And I gotta ask, man, this is a very weird picture, okay? If I was there, I would ask this man, is he okay? Right? Blink twice if you are okay. Please, David. As who in the world works in an office where you have a picture of your boss in the background with her husband? Okay? That's so weird to me, right? So I think this man is under distress. I really do. So yeah, it's really getting that bad, right? When they're putting out stuff like this to try to dispel the rumors. But let's go ahead and read about what's going on here. Kamala Harris has been branded a bully who inflicted constant soul-destroying criticism on her office staff in a damaging expose by a liberal newspaper. The Washington Post piece, a result of interviews with 18 people connected to the VP, also alleges that she failed to read briefings they prepared, only to turn on them if she was subsequently criticized for being unprepared. The claims from staff who work for Harris were published amid confirmed departures of 2 high-level staffers, with 2 others who are said to be heading for the door too. It's clear that you're not working with somebody who's willing to do the prep and the work, a former colleague told the Washington Post. Wow. So they're basically saying that Kamala is unprepared, that she's not willing to put in the work. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear this because, again, a lot of Kamala's career has been her, riding the pole all the way to the top, okay, and getting jobs because she's a so-called woman of color. Okay, that's the only reason that she got the VP job in the first place. It's because she's a woman of color. The Democrats in the base didn't even like her in the primaries. Didn't even like her. But for whatever reason, they thought that she was the most qualified person to be vice president. So yes, I'm not surprised that she doesn't want to read the briefings, that she's not prepared. Not surprised at all. With Kamala, you have to put up with constant amount of soul-destroying criticism and also her own lack of confidence. I think it's very clear that Kamala's not a very confident person.
Sounds like it's there.
All right, everyone get ready. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Okay, guys, we're gonna head
This is really nice.
Again, why would she be? It's not like she's ever had to earn anything in her life. So you're constantly sort of propping up a bully, and it's not really clear why. Harris staffers. Meanwhile, Jill Duran, who worked with Kamala for just 5 months in 2013 before quitting, said the vice president was repeating the same old destructive patterns. Ding, 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 ding. It's hard to kill old habits, okay? You are who you are, and we all know who Kamala is. She's a affirmative action vice president. I think this confirms it. Writing in his San Francisco Examiner column, he said, one of the things we've said in our little group text among each other is what is the common denominator through all of this, and it's her. Speaking to the Post, he added, who are the next talented people they're going to bring in and burn through and then have them pretend they're retiring for positive reasons? People familiar with the conversations told Politico that even more key members of Harris' orbit are eyeing the exits and have expressed interest in leaving less than a year into her vice presidency. One thing I never understood is why would these people want to leave a position like that? I mean, I understand it's probably hard work being on the staff for the president or the vice president, but you would think that these jobs are so prestigious that you wouldn't want to leave. But for whatever reason, it seems to be commonplace in DC to leave these jobs. Okay, so I mean, I'm not a DC insider, so I really don't know why. And if somebody is, you can educate me on why these people tend to kind of rotate through these jobs like this. Among the 4 staffers departing Harris's office are Simone Sanders, who, as a senior advisor and chief spokesperson, is one of the vice president's closest aides. Ashley Etienne, the office's communication director, is also leaving. Officials maintain Sanders and Etienne's departures were long planned and not evidence of the reported turmoil. I call BS on that. Peter Vales, Director of Press Operations, and Vince Evans, Deputy Director of the Office of Public Engagement and Intergovernmental Affairs, have both told others in the Vice President's office that they are also leaving, administration officials told the Washington Post. Both are expected to remain in administration or take jobs in close coordination with the White House. Some Democrat allies have urged Harris to embrace the concept of a reset after a rocky first year as vice president, which has been riddled with project failures like addressing the southern border crisis and reports of tensions between her and her team and the president's. Her poll ratings have tanked, with top Democrats said to be appalled at the idea of her running for president in 2024 should Joe Biden decide not to seek a second term. Harris staff are leaving because they're burned out and there are better opportunities elsewhere, and they don't want to be permanently branded a Harris person, according to Axios. Basically saying, we don't want to be associated with her, right? Being associated with Kamala Harris is toxic, okay? After the already announced departure of Harris Communications Director Ashley Etienne, Politico reported Wednesday that Chief Spokesperson Simone Sanders is expected to leave by the end of the year. Axios noted that Sanders is getting married next year and was never able to go on a proper tour to sell her book, No, You Shut Up, which was published in May 2020. Okay, so she's trying to cash out, I guess. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. All right, so, yeah. Here's what I think, guys. I think there's definitely some truth to a lot of this stuff going on in Kamala's staff, because this is something that was reported on months ago, okay, when it was just a rumor. And now we know for a fact that it's true because all these people are leaving and we know why they're leaving, okay? But I also think some of this, in terms of these people coming out and leaking what's going on inside, I think that is coming from the Democrat establishment, right? Especially when it's leaked through an outlet like the Washington Post, which is very pro-Democrat. This is a coordinated hit job to get Kamala out of office. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Okay, I am really buying into the idea that the Democrats are actively looking to try to get rid of her. I really think it's that bad. And a part of that is the whole PR campaign, right? Putting out hit pieces, news pieces to suggest that, hey, she's really not qualified for this job. Hey, she's really not up for it. Her staff is in disarray. Okay, it's all types of crazy stuff going on. And I think them kind of putting this out there in light of her terrible poll numbers, I think that kind of, again, gives leeway for the Democrats to kind of low-key get rid of her. And something that's also interesting to note is I was reading about how some people were saying that this is a setback for women to run for higher office in the future if Kamala can't get her stuff together. Well, my response to that would be, well, what's a real setback for women is giving somebody a job purely because of their skin color or their sex. That is the real setback for women. Because if you actually had chose somebody that was qualified for the job, then this would not happen. Okay? So again, this identity politics thing, again, it can come back to haunt you if the person that you're putting in the job because of their identity is not really qualified. And it seems that the Democrats are going to make the same mistake with Pete Buttigieg, the person they're trying to prop up now, because he's, gay. Okay, so that's why they're putting him in that position to say, hey, look, we got a gay man now. Vote for us. That's what they do. So, I think there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. And I think, in my opinion, this is just a part of the Democrats trying to distance themselves from Kamala and basically set it up so that somebody else can take the reins as the successor to Joe Biden come 2024 if Biden decides not to run. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.